video. So this afternoon I got an idea when I was sitting, so I actually have to document the idea and start working on it, which absolutely the reason why I'm recording this video. So I said to myself, regardless of how prepared I was or I wasn't, I actually need to work on this. I'll be starting a new video series which will last for 5 days, and the title of the series is tagged Beyond What You See. Alright, so the aim of this series is to explain the intersection between the human spirit, the human soul, and how it leads to the physical expression of how we do life generally. Alright, so science helps us to understand that human basic need is food, clothing, and shelter, and obviously that's basically what everybody can see because they are visible things and they are needed for our day-to-day life activities. But beyond that, there are other needs that the human spirit or the human soul desires, which are obviously not visible. So that's exactly why this series exists. So today we'll be talking about one of the very core need of the human spirit, which is the need for progress and growth. So have you ever planted a seed before and you water the seed, you plant it in a very good space where sunlight will be able to get through that seed and the whole processes will facilitate the growth of that seed. But unfortunately the seed happened to die. You see that immediately you felt so pain because despite maybe you might not have done a lot of work to that particular seed that dies, but it somehow affects you, which you can't really explain. Alright, and that's because you felt there was no progress in respect to whatever you're trying to do with that seed. Alright, let me relate it to how it works in respect to the human spirit and soul. Every human desires growth, regardless of their consciousness to it, regardless of their desperation to it, regardless of how badly they may want it also. And this is something that most times we can't really explain verbally, we can't really explain physically, because it has to easily sound so weird, it easily sounds so unreal to the very average mind, and it makes it look so very difficult for you to be understand. This is because the human spirit always desires to see progress, always desire to see increase, always desire to see advancement. And when such kind of occurrences don't happen frequently, you get to be pained internally, you get to be weak internally, you get to be down internally, and most times it affects how you interpret life generally, because your strength now, which is more like the inner strength, is not there again. And this is because what absolutely boosts that strength is actually not available, which is growth and progress. That's why you always find your soul, your spirit being delightful whenever you make progress. Maybe you write an exam, you're able to skate through, you always be happy, regardless either you won a prize, regardless you did not win a prize, you always be happy because you see growth. When you do business and you make profits, regardless of the profit margin, you always be happy because it gives that your spirit that alert that something has happened. And it might not be something tangible that others may celebrate with you, but the moment your spirit senses that signal that this has been quickened, it obviously delights in that action. This is something that is not said oftentimes. Alright, we always find satisfaction, we always find desire whenever we make progress. So most times you can be having money, you can be having physical resources, but within your mind, within yourself, you are just unhappy. The reason is because your mind has been able to accumulate activities you've done and find out that there is no progress in whatever you're trying to do. So it gets that feedback, we need to make progress, and the very way you react to it physically is to be down. That's when you see most people will tell you they have mood swings, they have this, they have that, and they can't really explain. It's not really because of external factor, but because your spirit man has been able to discern that there's no progress in this area, or there's no progress in this venture, or there's no progress in this thing you are working on. The effect of that will now rub up to the physical expression we get to display. Alright, the very core of this video is that every human spirit will always delight in progress, every human spirit will always delight in advancement, every human spirit will always delight in growth. Alright, and it is something that serves as an energy booster to your spirit. Whenever growth happens, your human spirit is always elevated and it helps you stay psychologically stable. So I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.